Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, they tell me don't quit your day job. So we're sitting in some good old DC traffic here, headed to our day job. Now, I want you to just follow along with me here for a second. I want you to just imagine if, let's say, Lucky Whitehead was pulled over for speeding. The police searched his car, and they ended up finding a unregistered handgun, 9mm, with hollow point bullets in the chamber, and weed. What would the headlines be on all of the football sites and things? What would the news be in Dallas? Because I'm sitting there looking at that, and yeah, it's out there a little bit. But if that were the Dallas Cowboys that happened to, the headlines would be blowing up. Stephen A. Smith would be out there. They can't stay off the weed, But because it's the Dallas Cowboys, everything gets blown up. Anywhere else, okay, big deal. I mean, if he's convicted on the handgun charge alone, it's a minimum of 3.5 years in jail. Okay, we'll give you another example. Let's suppose Dez Bryant skipped a mandatory drug testing test and got suspended. What would it be like in Dallas right now or across the country? I mean, we know how it was when he skipped the MRI because he didn't want to get the bad news on the knee that he knew was already screwed up. How he got vilified and everybody talked about he should be traded and everything else. The Redskins' best offensive lineman, the highest paid tackle in the NFL, who was in the drug protocol, skipped the drug test. So we can assume that he skipped that because he knew he wasn't going to pass it. I mean, I'm assuming that. I may be wrong. Maybe he just forgot. But if you're in the drug protocol, when the NFL comes knocking about that drug test, you're going to be there for it, or you're going to be suspended. So he knew what he was doing. And looking at that, it truly is against the Dallas Cowboys, because there's an article out by Fox Sports that says the Dallas Cowboys need Tony Romo right now more than ever because Dak didn't play well for 3/4 of that game. And that's just crazy. I mean, true, he didn't play well that first 3/4, mainly because the running game wasn't running as well as it had been. The Eagles were blitzing like crazy, and there were other mistakes in that game. We had the Ezekiel Elliott run that ended up being called back. We had Lucky Whitehead taking the ball on the 3-yard line on that punt return and fumbling the opening kickoff, and getting the ball at 10-yard line. There were plenty of mistakes that went around. But the narrative should be is that they got themselves together in the fourth quarter against a division rival down by 10 points in the fourth quarter to tie the game and win. Any other quarterback out there, that's how it would be. But, of course, it's the Dallas Cowboys, and everybody knows they can get paid by talking about the Dallas Cowboys and the problems with the Cowboys. And I'm beginning to realize, I had this great epiphany this morning, because I was looking at Mike Fisher's Twitter, and he posted a picture of the locker room prayer before the game. And there it is, Dak Prescott and Tony Romo side by side, and everybody in the team holding hands together. And that truly is a team, because I don't think there's any divide between Romo and Dak. When Romo threw that pick in the game, he was like, it's okay. And he's over there trying to help the guy. Now, I look back, because I always try and look at history and stuff, and I've been around long enough that I've seen a whole lot. Generally speaking, past history will tell you that the number 1 guy does not like the number 2 guy. Montana and Steve Young hated each other. Montana had to go. You look at Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. That was another one that they can't stand each other, and Aaron Rodgers is still talking about to this day. And even Clint Longley and Roger Staubach. Clint Longley took a swing at Roger Staubach and he was out of there. Or Danny White and Gary Hogeman. generally speaking, they don't get along. But I don't think that's the case with Tony Romo and Dak, because this team is focusing in on winning, and they're reaping some of the hard work and team chemistry together. So I think the only ones that have a problem with the whole idea and making it more than it is us fans, the media, and even me, because I kept looking at, we got to stick with that. Yeah, and in essence, that's what they're doing. And Jerry Jones is getting vilified because he's not coming out and saying that Dak Prescott is our starter. But I think I realized this morning that it's not about dissing Dak. I think it's more about respecting Romo. Because when you say that Dak Prescott is our starter, then it's saying that, Tony, you're not that good anymore. And when you talk about a guy who's given everything to the team, mind, body, and soul, you don't want to diss the guy. It's kind of like, I always like using World War II analogies. That's why I call the defense the black sheep, because they're not respected like that fighter squadron in the South Pacific, which ended up being the best fighter squadron in the South Pacific. Tony Romo is kind of like the battleship Missouri. He's been through the wars. He's been great. He's been fantastic. And instead of putting it on scrap heap, chopping it up for scrap metal, you end up putting in mothballs. So, we don't need you right now, but at the drop of the hat, we can get you back on the field because we need you. And the Missouri, even though it was mothballed after World War II, came back for the Korean War, came back for the Vietnam War, came back for the Gulf War. So that's kind of like what they're doing with Tony Romo. And when they say that we're going to stick with the hot hand, and everybody's saying, oh, Jerry Jones is just blah, 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 that's bull. Because basically, every NFL team sticks with the hot hand. Any quarterback that goes out there and has 3 games or so that are terrible, they're going to get yanked for somebody else who might be the hot hand. So I'm done with the whole it's Dak, Tony Romo against the world and everything else, and realizing that it's about the Dallas Cowboys and winning. That's the bottom line. So thank God the traffic started moving. I'm Mark Holmes. It's Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for subscribing to the Joe Boo Report. We're getting close to 2,000. We'll probably pop it in there today or tomorrow, and I appreciate all the support from you guys. And one guys that ordered the shirts, I'm going to drop them in the post office today, and you should hopefully get them before the game this weekend. And remember to share a picture on my Facebook page, Cowboy Joe Boo, so that way I can share it with the world. Have a great day.